Hey everyone! So, what if I told you that eating backwards could literally transform your arthritis pain? I know, sounds absolutely crazy, right? But stick with me here because 30 days ago, my pain was a solid 9 out of 10, and today, we're sitting pretty at a 2. I'm talking about waking up without that morning stiffness that made me feel like the Tin Man from Wizard of Oz. No more popping ibuprofen like candy. And the best part? This isn't some weird fad. There's actual science behind why flipping your eating schedule can be a game changer for inflammation. So grab your coffee, settle in, and let me walk you through exactly what I did, how it works, and why your joints might just thank you for watching this video. What exactly is the backwards diet? Okay, so first things first, what the heck am I talking about when I say backwards diet? It's not eating dessert for breakfast, although that would be fun. The backwards diet is essentially eating your largest, most nutrient-dense meal early in the day and your lightest meal at night. Think of it as flipping the typical American eating pattern completely upside down. Most of us do this thing where we grab coffee and maybe a muffin for breakfast, have a decent lunch, then feast like kings at dinner. The backwards approach says, nope, let's fuel up in the morning when our metabolism is firing on all cylinders and wind down gently at night. Here's the kicker. Your body's inflammatory response actually follows a circadian rhythm. When you eat heavy meals late in the day, you're essentially throwing a metabolic tantrum right when your body wants to repair and recover. But why does this matter specifically for arthritis pain? Well, that's where things get really interesting. The science behind inflammation and meal timing. Now, I'm not going to bore you with a college-level biochemistry lecture, but there are some fascinating studies that'll blow your mind. Research from Harvard Medical School shows that meal timing can influence inflammatory markers by up to 40%. When you eat large meals late in the evening, your cortisol levels spike right when they should be dropping. Cortisol is like that friend who means well but always stirs up drama, in this case, inflammation. Here's what happens. Late-night eating disrupts your circadian rhythm, which controls everything from hormone production to cellular repair. Your body literally doesn't know whether it should be digesting food or healing your joints. It's like trying to vacuum while someone's trying to sleep in the same room. Nobody's happy. And let's be honest, most of us eat dinner like we're preparing for hibernation, then wonder why we feel like we got hit by a truck the next morning. The backwards diet works because it aligns your eating patterns with your body's natural inflammatory cycles. You're giving your system the fuel it needs when it can actually use it effectively instead of storing it as inflammatory compounds overnight. But here's what really convinced me to try this approach: my 30-day backwards diet experiment. 3 months ago, my arthritis pain was controlling my life. Morning stiffness lasted 2 to 3 hours. Climbing stairs felt like running a marathon. I was taking 800 milligrams of ibuprofen twice daily just to function. My rheumatologist mentioned that some patients saw improvements with meal timing changes, but honestly, I was skeptical. How could when I eat matter more than what I eat? Day 1 to 7, the setup. I started simple. Instead of my usual coffee and granola breakfast, I made what I'd normally eat for dinner. We're talking a full plate, grilled salmon, roasted vegetables, quinoa, the works. For lunch, I had a moderate portion of whatever felt good. Dinner became my smallest meal, usually soup, salad, or a light sandwich. The first few days were weird, not gonna lie. My body was like, excuse me, why are we having salmon at 7 a.m.? Day 8:15, the shift. This is when things got interesting. My morning stiffness dropped from 2-3 hours to about 45 minutes. I wasn't reaching for ibuprofen the second I woke up anymore. My energy levels throughout the day felt more stable. No more 3 p.m. crashes. Hey, if this is helping you understand your pain better, do me a huge favor and hit that like button. It really helps the algorithm show this to other people who might need it. And if you're not subscribed yet, definitely subscribe and ring that notification bell. I've got so much more content coming about natural pain management approaches. Day 16 to 30, the results. By week 3, I was genuinely shocked. My pain score went from a consistent 8-9 down to 3-4 on most days. But the real test came on day 25 when I helped my neighbor move furniture. Normally, that would have left me bedridden for 2 days. Instead, just normal muscle soreness that was gone by the next morning. I tracked everything: pain levels, sleep quality, energy, mood. The data was undeniable: 80% reduction in average daily pain scores. And by the way, while we're on the topic of reducing arthritis and knee pain naturally, I want to share something that made a huge difference for me and many of my viewers. If you've been worried about costly or risky knee replacement surgery, there's actually a simple at-home option. It's called Ageless Knees, a natural solution that helps you relieve pain, avoid surgery, and regain flexibility in just 1 minute a day. I've seen people use it to move more freely without feeling limited. I'll drop the link right below this video so you can check it out if knee pain has been holding you back. But here's the thing, I don't think it's just about meal timing, the anti-inflammatory food component. While I was flipping my meal schedule, I also made sure my big morning meals were packed with anti-inflammatory powerhouses. My go-to breakfast rotation included fatty fish like salmon or mackerel, omega-3 fatty acids are inflammation fighters, leafy greens loaded with antioxidants, berries, especially blueberries and cherries, turmeric and ginger, nature's ibuprofen, walnuts and other nuts rich in healthy fats. Here's a stat that'll surprise you. Tart cherry juice contains compounds that are as effective as some NSAIDs for reducing inflammation. But I was having a full cup of fresh cherries with my morning meal instead. The combination of eating these foods when my body could best utilize them, plus the improved circadian rhythm, created this perfect storm of healing. Evening meals stayed light but strategic. Usually some bone broth, great for joint health, steamed vegetables, maybe some herbal tea with honey. Nothing that would spike my blood sugar or trigger inflammatory pathways right before bed. Plus, eating light dinners meant I actually had room for dessert occasionally, because life's too short to skip chocolate entirely, am I right? What the research actually says, I'm a bit of a research nerd, so I dove deep into the studies behind this approach. A 2019 study in Cell Metabolism found that people who ate their largest meal before 3 p.m. lost more weight and had better inflammatory markers than those who ate the same foods but later in the day. Same calories, same nutrients, different timing, dramatically different results. Another study from the University of Colorado showed that meal timing affects the expression of genes related to inflammation. When you eat late, you're literally turning on inflammatory genes that should be sleeping. The most compelling research came from a small study on rheumatoid arthritis patients. Those who shifted to early, substantial meals and light dinners saw a 35% reduction in morning stiffness and a 28% improvement in grip strength after just 8 weeks. But here's what the studies don't tell you: the practical challenges of actually doing this. The real challenges, and how I solved them. Let's be real, eating a full meal at 7 a.m. when you're used to grabbing coffee and running out the door is hard. Challenge number 1, meal prep time. Solution, I started doing dinner for breakfast meal prep on Sundays. Basically cooking what most people would consider dinner foods in bulk, then reheating portions each morning. Challenge number 2, social situations. This was tough. Dinner is social time for most people. I learned to be flexible. If I had dinner plans, I'd eat lighter that day and get back on track the next morning. Challenge number 3, hunger at night. Your body adapts, but those first 2 weeks were rough. Herbal teas, small portions of nuts, or a piece of fruit helped bridge the gap. Challenge number 4, family logistics. Getting my family on board was interesting. We compromised by having our big meal earlier, around 5 p.m. instead of 7 or 8 p.m., and keeping post-dinner snacks light. The key was being consistent, but not obsessive. Life happens, and being 80% consistent with this approach was infinitely better than being perfect for 3 days then giving up. Beyond pain, the unexpected benefits. While I started this for arthritis pain, the side effects were pretty amazing. Sleep quality, I was falling asleep faster and waking up more refreshed. Makes sense. My body wasn't working overtime to digest a heavy meal while trying to repair itself. Energy levels. No more afternoon crashes. When you fuel up properly in the morning, your energy stays stable throughout the day. Mood improvements. Less pain equals better mood, obviously, but there was more to it. Stable blood sugar from proper meal timing meant fewer mood swings and better mental clarity. Weight management. This wasn't my goal, but I lost about 8 pounds without trying. When you eat in alignment with your metabolism, your body just works better. The biggest surprise? My sleep tracker showed a 23% increase in deep sleep phases. Deep sleep is when your body does most of its repair work, including reducing inflammation. Who should and shouldn't try this? Before you dive in headfirst, let's talk about who this approach works best for. Great candidates. People with inflammatory conditions like arthritis, fibromyalgia, or inflammatory bowel issues. Anyone dealing with chronic pain that seems worse in the mornings, people who struggle with energy crashes throughout the day. Those who have trouble sleeping after late, heavy meals, proceed with caution. If you have diabetes or blood sugar management issues, work with your doctor first. You're pregnant or breastfeeding. You have a history of eating disorders. You're on medications that need to be taken with food at specific times. Most important point, this isn't medical advice. I'm just sharing what worked for me. Always check with your healthcare provider before making significant dietary changes, especially if you're managing a chronic condition. All right, so here's the bottom line. The backwards diet gave me my life back. Going from a 9 to a 2 on the pain scale in just 30 days feels almost too good to be true, but the science backs it up, and my daily experience proves it. The key takeaways: eat your biggest, most anti-inflammatory meal early in the day, keep dinners light, and be consistent but flexible. Your circadian rhythm and your joints will thank you. And remember, if you're ready to support your joints even further, don't forget to check out Ageless Knees through the link below. It could be the perfect complement to the backwards diet approach. Now I'm curious, would you rather try the backwards diet approach first or jump straight into a structured meal plan? And what's your biggest challenge with managing arthritis pain right now? Drop a comment below because I read every single one and often get my best video ideas from your questions. If this helped you out, definitely smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss new videos. Speaking of which, next week I'm diving deep into a Mediterranean diet meal plan specifically designed for arthritis, complete with 14 days of recipes and shopping lists. If you want a step-by-step plan to complement the backwards eating approach, you definitely don't want to miss that one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.